So yesterday, Netflix dropped a brand new Indian thriller, more like a police detective thriller horror from India, and this is Baramulla, I think is how you say this. And yeah, this is about a disappearance of a child, and this detective is brought in to investigate it. And then he starts realizing that other kids have also gone missing. But this is the one that has been noticed because this kid's more high profile. And so, they move him into this house while he's in town investigating these disappearances. And the house that he moves into seems to be haunted. I guess that's the best description I can give you without spoiling too much. Now, much like any foreign horror film, these are always 2+ hours long, which is not a terrible thing. It's just notable because I know a lot of people prefer their horror movies to be shorter, and for some reason, most foreign horror films that I watch are long. They're at least 2 hours long. Now, okay. As far as like the horror goes in this, there is definitely some for sure. That's not really the focus of the film primarily. It's there. It's present, right? And it definitely has its place in the film. But the like detective thriller part of it, it's more of like a, I don't want to say things that are going to give certain things away, so I'm trying to be very careful with what I say here. But I guess I should just say that's more of the focus of the film, is the investigation side of things and our detective looking into the case of why the kids are missing. The horror in the movie is in the way of like supernatural, haunting, ghost entity kind of lurking around the residence that he's at, but also other places in the movie. And the way that it ties into the film, I feel, is quite satisfying in the end. But a lot of the film is a mystery, and it is one that you really have to follow because there is a lot of pieces to the puzzle. And I think that you can get lost very easily because it is a longer film. It is in a different language, although this does have an English dub for those who want it. And also there's like cultural disconnects here for sure as well. I actually ended up having to research Kashmiri Pandits because I didn't know what the hell that was. And they talk about it here in the film, and especially at the end during the credits, and I was like, okay, I guess this probably has some cultural significance and relevance that I'm missing out on that would help me better understand this as a foreigner to this film. But overall, I did like it. I did like it as a detective thriller, and with these kind of interwoven supernatural elements and how they came together, and I liked to like once it all concluded and it was all put together, as long as you were paying attention and you actually knew how all the pieces fit. I actually did really enjoy that conclusion and was pretty satisfied with like, oh, okay, all of this makes perfect sense now. And I think that this was well thought through and has a good tie, a good wrap up and tie in with everything that happened throughout. And there's a good amount of emotional stuff in here with the families. It just, as I said, I think this is definitely a film because it's 2 hours long. There's a lot happening, and there's a lot to pay attention to. And when the ending happens, if you kind of checked out or weren't paying attention to every little element, you're definitely going to be scratching your head a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Indian horror, there's another really phenomenal one from this year called Vash Level 2. Uh, Vash Level 1, or just Vash, was very, very hard to find. I reviewed both 1 and 2 in the same video and left a link to how to watch Vash in the description or in the comments. I can't remember, one of the two. But that's definitely my recommendation. If you're going to watch one Indian horror film on Netflix this year, it would be Vash Level 2, but you got to watch Vash Level 1 for sure beforehand. But this is good, you know? I think that this is nowhere near as good as Vash. But I think if you are into police detective thrillers with horror elements that tie up nicely, then you should check this one out. Especially if you're into foreign cinema. I know a lot of people are like, man, I'm just not into subtitles. I'm not into foreign films. I definitely come across a lot of those people, and that's fine if that's how you are. I just think that you got to give these a shot. I was actually thinking today it would be really cool to have like a podcast, or at least like even a show like on here, you know, on this channel. But God, the algorithm hates anytime you try anything different. Of kind of like a horror world tour where you just do one country. You could even do it alphabetically. You take one country per episode and you cover one or more, maybe 3 or 4 films from that country that fall in the horror genre. At least one, right? Well, at least one is like, or 0, I guess. I don't know why I said at least one, but I'm saying like, I would do one for sure, obviously, but like more than that, I don't know, because that would just get very daunting, right? There's like 206 countries. I think one actually got dropped off, so I think there's 205 now. Anyway, that would be a lot of fucking movies. That would be just right there alone. That's 200 plus films. And yeah. Anyway, I was just thinking about that while watching this. It would be really cool to watch at least a film or two from every country on Earth in the genre. But I did look this up just out of pure curiosity on if North Korea had any horror movies. Fuck, I was wondering if they even made movies outside of like propaganda. And no, not much, but they do supposedly have like a kaiju, like monster movie. That seems to be their only fucking horror film, and it's from like 1985. So that alone made me go, I want to do this just so I can see this North Korean movie, if I can even get my fucking hands on the damn thing. Anyway, yeah, I liked the family dynamic in this as well. You know, the detective and his family. He's got a daughter who's not really speaking to him, and we find out why, and that's pretty fucked up, and makes sense. And this might be a spoiler for the film, so if you don't want to know anything, check out here. But I do want to mention this part of it. So this film deals a lot with like Muslim extremism and terrorism. And I don't really know the relation. Like, I'm in America, right? And I know how America feels about like Islamic extremism because of obviously 9/11 and whatever. But I don't really have a good grasp on like the you know, the issues facing India and like Muslim extremism, like versus like Hinduism and whatever. Like I don't know how those like push up against one another. How much like interaction, how much terrorism that they have in that region for that. I don't know. I've not really looked into that. I'm assuming a lot, but I don't know. So as I said, there is a bit of a cultural disconnect. Like if this movie was happening in America, I am very aware of the significant terrorist attacks in this country. So anyway, I wanted to mention that because this movie deals very heavily with that, and that might be a turnoff to some people. Um, they might see it as propaganda or, something. I don't know. So that's just a little extra side note there. So that's that. All right. Well, I'll see you in the comments. Adios.